Supercoach Pro. In this video, we'll be looking at my vice captain options going into the round, my trades, also some interesting ins and outs of the AFL sides. Now, just before we get into all that, I'll just expand the screen. As you can see, the flog himself has been omitted, so it's really good for the footy community that the barometer has been omitted, which is fantastic. To be honest, I think he's an idiot. Anyway, moving on to Supercoach relevant content. First of all, Highmore owners, pretty unlucky, pretty stiff. He's been omitted this week. Also, Madden owners. I found it a little bit interesting that some other Supercoach YouTube channels that barrack for Brisbane, etc., actually brought him in because they should know that when Madden was in for the Port Adelaide game, he got dropped after their win. So I thought that was a really strange move to why they brought him in, knowing that Leicester and Neil were only around the corner and Madden was always going to come out. He might play a few more games during the season, but it might be like a Highmore situation where he gets named one week and then dropped the next based on form. So if I'm an owner, I'm really disappointed because you really needed him during the buys. And it looks like Waitman was the better cash grab. Everyone was saying, Madden was a better cash grab than Waitman, but Waitman's still been named. So a little bit sucked in if you bought him in, but definitely do your rookie research. Don't just go by YouTube channels. Obviously, if they've been dropped after a win, it's never a good sign. So I do recommend looking at your own research instead of other people's content. Sometimes it's better to look at your own stuff, and that way you've only got yourself to blame if that rookie's been dropped. Anyway, moving on. Interesting note, McDonald is being named for Sydney, which means Heaney will now take the third best defender because Franklin's still named in the side. So I thought that was an interesting point. Hunter Clark obviously took Highmore's spot. Nicholas Murray, he's been omitted, so that's no surprise there. And Berry has concussion, so he's a rookie that you should probably trade. He might not get back into that side next week if the side performs well against Collingwood and they have a win. So just think about that in hindsight. Now, moving forward, McRae, he's the worst rookie I've picked up this year. It was more to grab a Primo the week after. That's why I did it. And he had that DPP. So sucked in for me for picking him in. Stupidest pick this year, I reckon. Nothing too relevant here either. Grundy owners, I reckon he'll be back sooner than what we think, so definitely hold for me. But look, if you've got better plans, go for it. Nankervis out, meaning Coleman Jones will play at ruck with Chol, so the points for Jones will actually be pretty decent. Paddy Dow and Luke Parks on the extended bench, I don't think they'll be named, though, come 5 o'clock tomorrow. Nothing to note here. Obviously, Kelly, you've got to sell him if you do have him, and you're like that 3% that do. And nothing too interesting note out of these games. Obviously, McNeil, you're probably going to have to trade him out now that he's been omitted. And it seems to be the rookies that we needed during the buys have all been omitted or concussion or something stupid like that. So that's really unfortunate for you guys out there. Look, I'm in a very similar boat. Now, Supercoach. So what we've done this week, I'm not going to reverse my changes because then I've got to put all my players back on field. I'll discuss what I've done. Trent Bianco for Chapman. I think Bianco has decent job security. Now, I'm not recommending to jump on board just in case it does burn you and then I'll look like an idiot. But I think he has pretty good security. Only factor I can feel that he isn't, the top 18 is if you look where he's been named, it's on the actual bench. I'm pretty sure if we go back to the actual lineup, that's a thing you've really got to look at is where these rookies are named. It gives you an idea of their job security. I know it sounds a little bit funny, but trust me, it really does make more sense. So if you go lineup, extend it out, you'll notice he's been named on the bench, meaning he's not starting on the field, which does mean something in terms of rookies, in my personal opinion. Now, Bianco, I've only brought him in because Chapman's a dead rookie anyway. I'm making 123k or something like that off him, so it's a win-win anyway. And if Collingwood get the win, he'll definitely keep his job. Now, Oliver is the only Primo, apart from Bont, that's really hurting me not having him. I don't like to pay $700,000 for a player, but him and Bont would be the exception. Isaac Heaney, I'm not saying do it with me, but if you are going to jump on, this is the last week to bring him in. And Warner and Jordan seem to be maxed out. Jordan's probably got maybe 40-50k if he resets his break even. But on the flip side, if he has one bad score against Brisbane and has a 40-50, he resets it down to a not a good break even from there. But do remember he does play Collingwood next week, so it might be not a bad player to hold on to. And Sydney have an easy 2 games, so if you don't want to get rid of Warner, you don't have to. But for me, they're just both at the right price for these trades, and they don't stuff my buys because it's a Melbourne for a Melbourne and a Sydney for a Sydney. So that's how it works for me. Now, I obviously lose my 305k banking, but it's for 2 primos and 1 rookie. So now I'm only 1 primo short in defence, 1 in the midfield, and 1 in the ruck. With 9 trades to go, I don't mind that. Bit scary that I'm under 10, but I'm only going to make 2 trades next week. Maybe bring in someone like Whitfield to finish off my defence, and maybe grab Reeves next week for Flynn, or we'll discuss that in the next video next week, but it can all change in a week. So, been rambling for a bit. Vice captain this week is going to be Oliver, as you can see there. He's had quite some good games against Brisbane in the past, and he's just in hot form. So now that I'm an owner, he will be the man that I use. You know, he's got 177. I didn't want to miss out on a score like that either, because I'm very scared of not having Oliver. Now, you're probably thinking, why Laird? Now, do your homework when looking at captains and don't just go off what other people say. Now, Collingwood are a bad team this year, and he scored 185 last year. So have a look at what they've played against these teams. Don't just go off what other people will go, oh yeah, I recommended him. They've got to be at natural research to why you pick him, not just, oh, he said it, so I did it. So my footy tips before I end this video. I haven't backed Melbourne all season. I've really ridden them off and thought they were a hype team, but I believe Melbourne will win this week. I believe Sydney. I think Adelaide should win that one. I'm biased, but I'm going to say Richmond, obviously. Wouldn't be surprised if Essendon won. Now, I reckon the Weagles will win. Unfortunately, I don't like them. But, yeah. And I don't like Carlton, so that's a bit of an annoying game for me to watch. And I reckon the Doggies win that one. But also, I wouldn't be surprised if, at home, Freo got the chocolates there. Same with Brisbane. I mean, it's not at the MCG, so this could go either way. The only one I reckon that's a definite win is probably Sydney to beat St Kilda. Everything else is almost 50-50. Anyway, make sure you look at your side going into the round. I know I'm missing 1 in the back line, 1 in the ruck, and 2 in the forward line. So overall, I do have 18 playing this week. Hopefully I win my cash league. Now, I'm just going to say it. Just want to say it one more time. Make sure whoever you bring in this week suits your buys for the week after, and the week after that. Because if you don't, you could very well stuff your team up for your future rounds. Now, if you have any better suggestions for vice captain and captain, you can definitely let me know. And if you want any help, just leave a comment in there. If you like this video, press the like. Now, I want to try to get to 50 subscribers by the end of next week. So if you do like this content and you want to see more, definitely hit the subscribe button. I'll see you on the next one. Hopefully you guys have a good night and a good Supercoach weekend. Catch ya.